What's up guys, and welcome back to another Age of Vision 2 video. This video I'm going to be doing a voiceover of this video, and this is my attempt of trying to unite all of the Western countries into one big union, just like how I did with the Franco-British Union in the last video. As you can see here, this is the usual setup I always go for: lower the goods, the investments, the taxes goes up, so I can get the most amount of money for this, and I can also recruit a bunch of troops. As you can see here, I was kind of trying to test out the recordings because it was kind of lagging a little bit. As you can see, it was a little bit of lag and then it sorted itself out. So yeah, that's just a bit of a problem that I have before the start of the video. Oh, so yeah, as you can see, I'm always trying to recruit troops. That always happens because I swipe so fast, and I'm just like the type of dude who wants to, swipe very fast when I'm playing. So yeah. This is where I'm going to be recruiting a lot of troops, as you can see, and the reason why I'm recruiting so many is because I'm going to want to target Spain first. Now, I did say in the last video, like I said, don't rush down a country like I did in the last video, and it's never a good idea. But I had like 30,000 troops, and I was confident that I was able to do this. And things went like decently, and then it kind of started going bad, and then it started going very good again for me. So as you can see, I'm right here, I'm lining up all my troops at the Spanish border, and I'm preparing to invade Spain here with lots of troops. And the thing is, even if you start the game, the country start off with lots of troops in the capital. Most of the time you see like 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 or something like that. That's a lot of troops in the capital of one country at the beginning of the game. But as you can see right here, making slow and steady progress. I'm pushing pretty aggressive. My western front, where the French troops are, it's a lot more weaker than the eastern one, and that's where the problems are going to happen extremely soon, because that's where the Spanish are going to push back a lot of territory that I gained, and they're actually going to get in my territory and push in my territory, take a little bit of stuff, but then they get stopped as soon as I send a few troops back to deal with the problem. So you can see I was getting stuck over here in Galicia, where I was trying to take over this portion here. And you can see, and the capital was open, so I decided to take it over because the Spanish troops got out of the capital, so it was just a free take, I guess. So I decided to go for it. And yeah, this is what I mean. See, the Western Front completely collapsed, and then this is where the invasion fails, because my troops got completely wiped out from the Spanish islands. And this is where the things are gonna go worse. As you can see, I'm pulling troops back just to go to the western border there, because they're starting to get in my territory while I'm still advancing down in the south. So that was the moment, that was my most worry. I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to cut this out from the video because I don't want to invade Spain again. And I just made a big mistake like I did the last video, but it backfired for them later on, and it did well for me. So this is where it started kind of to backfire for Spain, right about here, when I cut them off from the northern portion here, and then this is where I try to take over and block off as many provinces as possible so to not get access to them as easy. And in the south they have no army, so I'm able to just push to the south very easily with no defense whatsoever. But in France, in the country that I'm playing as right now is France, actually, if you didn't notice. I played as the UK last time, I'm playing as French now. And yeah, I'm trying to deal with Spanish up there, and then yeah, the rest of Spain just collapses as soon as I cut them off. And that goes a good victory for me. So as you can see, I only have a few more things to invade left. After Spain, I did decide to build up a larger army, because I was trying to prepare to invade Portugal after Spain, because Portugal was my next target, because I knew they were going to be weaker, obviously, because they're a small country and they don't have that many troops. But still, I prepared myself for that as well. But we're still continuing to invade Spain here. We're making quite a bit of progress, as you can see. And yeah, I just had the islands left, really, at this point. The islands were the only things I had to invade left. So I sent a few thousand guys down there, and then the rest of these guys, and the rest of them are sent to the Spanish islands. On the right, there we go. So yeah, there you go. So I do manage to take out a lot of Western Europe pretty quickly. After Spain fell, Portugal fell really quickly after I invade them, and because they're weak. And then I do invade the UK after I also start bringing up a bigger army. So you can see, okay, so here I knew I couldn't annex all of Spain because I didn't have enough land, I didn't have enough points. So I decided to use an old trick where I make the country puppet, give them a few insults until I'm allowed to do the ultimatum, and then I fully annex them and I can get the whole country for free. just like that. So that's the best trick to ever use, and it works. I don't have to invade them again. So now I was building a couple ports here just to get my troops out of the few islands, and I'm actually going to move forward here so it's not too boring for you guys. So here is the invasion of Portugal here. It took me quite a bit to recruit all of those troops, but yeah, there you go, I did it. So I don't like to cut out stuff. Like when I'm recruiting troops, I don't like cutting out because some people may believe that I'm using cheats or cheating or moving myself troops off camera. And that's the reason why I don't like cutting it out and like speed it up so you guys can see the process of what I'm doing. And then some people may think I'm cheating, but I'm actually not cheating. Okay, I'm playing without sandbox mode, so that's one thing, and I'm not using any commands. So yeah, anyways, let's move on to Portugal being completely wrecked here. My invading the Portuguese islands failed, but as you can see, Portugal fell really quickly because they didn't have a strong army. They did destroy my army quite a bit, but I managed to take them out really fast here. So trying to make a naval attempt there, but they kind of failed because I had too many troops. So there you go, I was able to destroy the mainland. And there's only just 3 islands left of the 2 islands, technically, because there you go. That's why. And then Portugal, I was able to annex the whole thing because I just conquered Spain, so I had enough land to just annex the whole thing and enough points. And this is where I kind of start recruiting troops and putting them in groups again, so we're going to cut the next part again so you guys don't get bored. So right here, this is where I'm doing my invasion of the UK. I put a lot of troops around the UK, around like over 50, 60, 70,000 troops in total I had. And I put them all like around the whole UK, like around the whole of the UK. So I started invading the UK from the north, Northern Ireland, Cornwall, and close to the capital where I could just capture London and get it quickly out of the way. Their troops, well, like they were nothing. As soon as the capital fell like that, I was able to just rush in and take in everything they had. So yeah, but from Cornwall, I was pushing from everywhere. Northern Ireland fell. And then yeah, so then I push up from the north, as you can see. And the north I had a lot of troops, and then in the south my troops got wrecked by the army, but they were still good enough to the point I was able to take over the whole of the UK. The UK was pretty easy. Well, I thought it was going to be difficult, more difficult than Spain, but the UK is smaller technically than Spain, so I was able to capture it easier. There's a little bit of lag there, but that's okay. Like I said, in the past like few weeks now, I've had an issue where I can no longer record in 1080p content like in certain games, which is very weird. I don't know why that is, but I'm able to record Age of Fisher 2 in 1080p 60, which makes me really happy to hear, because I want to have the content to be as good as quality as possible. And there you go, that's the fall of the UK here. So now I'm preparing the invasion for Ireland, and Ireland wasn't too difficult because I know obviously Ireland is weaker, it's smaller than the UK, and I only had to get a couple thousand of guys in Northern Ireland just to invade it. And I didn't even bother with the Isle of Man or even the Faroe Islands, because I know those I can just send an ultimatum and just invade them, or we'll just annex them without having to invade them. Because like I said, if it's a small island or microstate, I don't bother because they're not a threat anyway. So as you can see, I do the same thing with the UK. I put troops around the ocean on the south, and then they push in from the south, and then the troops in the north pushing from the north. And there we go, and it was successful. It did wipe out a lot of my army, almost, but it was pretty successful, and then the capital fell. The south goes, see you later, and then, yeah, the Ireland is just gone at this point. Yeah, just nothing left. Ireland was pretty quick, as you can see. And then from here, I start sending troops up in the north, but I do get disturbed by the Italians because they want to invade my mainland. And I do pull off a good treaty here, so as you can see, I do pull a very good reverse treaty here, and they just leave. And then I had to declare peace with Belarus and South Korea. Like I said, this game just randomly has countries declare war on you, and it's stupid and it's really annoying. Because yesterday, after I recorded that video, I literally got invaded by like 2 countries, like Pakistan and Burma. And they almost took over my whole country, and then I managed to fight back, and I was extremely annoyed because I lost so much time from that after the video, as I was trying to edit I was trying to do a thumbnail. I couldn't do it, but yeah, there we go, off topic. There's Iceland, they're fully dead, I invaded them easily, and that goes to 4 islands with an ultimatum. And at this point, I pretty much conquered all of Western Europe. This video was supposed to be a union with all the Western countries uniting into one big union, pretty much. So all the Western countries had to just, be invaded. So as you can see, I still have 3 more islands left to take over right here. Boom, boom, and boom. That's 3 islands dead, and then this is where I just annex the rest of these countries. So yeah, there we go. Ireland is small, so I'm able to annex it with no problem. The UK is smaller than France, obviously, slightly, or a lot more. This is the ultimatum. They get annexed. But at this point, I have so much land, like there's just no need to worry of, you know, not having to annex the whole thing. I can just annex everything at this point, because I have so much land. And this is where I started to recruit my troops and then put them into one big group, because I was preparing to invade the Benelux. So let's just skip forward to that invasion real quick. The battle, as you can see, I started to call my troops in, and out of nowhere and unexpectedly the Belgians attack. But the good thing is I have so much money now and I'm out of debt. I can just recruit troops around the whole of the Belgian army and all these provinces, so they can no longer push forward. And Belgium is gonna instantly just crumble here as soon as I get those guys in. So as you can see, yeah, the army's wrecked. At this point I can go and push and take everything in. The Dutch did give me a little bit of a problem, because their army was pretty big, and then my army was kind of wiped out after invading the Belgians. And then Luxembourg, I did try to send them an ultimatum, but it didn't work, because for some reason this game likes to not accept ultimatums sometimes when there's a country 2 times, or I'd say 5 times as small as you and is weaker than you. As you can see, I do get invaded by a country, but then I do just, you know, pull out the reverse treaty, and there we go. I'm just gonna call it the reverse treaty because it always works, and it just, you know, it's always gonna give the country peace, and they're not gonna invade me anymore. I mean, in the last video that didn't work, I got very unlucky with the Italians, and after the video was recorded, I got invaded by the Pakistanis and Burma too. So I couldn't use a peace treaty. I had to forcefully make countries invade them, and then just fight off the forces that were left. So that was the main problem. But there you go. See, Belgium's done. My army does get wiped out a little bit in the south, and then the Western army is completely weak, but we managed to push as soon as the Dutch army falls, which will be right now. And I also do attempt to make a naval invasion from the north, just to make things a lot faster. And that's all of the Dutch down. And at this point, it's just Luxembourg left. Like I say, see what I mean? I try to send them an ultimatum. It does not work, because for some reason the game is just doesn't accept ultimatums all the time. And I decided, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna recruit more troops. I'm gonna call these guys down to the south, and we're gonna finish out Luxembourg and unite the whole of the Western European continent under one big union. I'm not gonna call it, I was gonna call it the, like, I don't know, mini EU or like the Western EU or something, but that wouldn't be really that specific or too cool, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't fit. I like the flag of the EU, it does fit, but it doesn't fit the name, you know? So I was gonna probably call it the Western Union or something, the Western, or the European Western Alliance or something. Well, it doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be a union. But yeah, I'll figure out the name.